Hi Club Central. Have you ever used a compass to help you find your way? Now these days we mainly use either a sat-nav in our car or the GPS on our phone, but compasses can still come in handy if we're hiking or walking through fields or mountains or forests. I don't actually own a traditional compass, but I do have one here on my mobile phone. The north here is pointing towards me. The south is pointing away from me. Here's the east, and here is the west. Now, traditional compasses work based on the Earth's magnetic field, and because the Earth is like a giant bar magnet, a compass can be made by using a small magnetized bar or a needle that aligns itself with the North Pole and the South Pole. Now, my GPS on my mobile phone is notoriously unreliable, and I have got lost several times using it. So I'm going to see today if I can make my own compass using some things that we can find around our house, and maybe you'd like to do this with me. So first thing we need is a sewing needle. So if you can ask your mum or your dad if you can borrow one of those. The second thing we will need is a shallow bowl full of water. The third thing we'll need is a cork. Now, if you could ask a parent to slice you a slice off the end of your cork, we're going to need one slice of cork. Or you could choose something else. If you don't have a cork, you could use something else that floats. And the final thing we need is a magnet. So mine's stuck on the end of this lollipop stick here, but you can use any magnet you can find stuck to your fridge, or if you want to, you can even use the seal on your fridge, which is also a magnet. Now what you'll need to do is you'll need to rub your magnet against your needle several times, about 10 times. The weaker your magnet is and the more times you'll need to rub it up and down. Make sure you always rub in the same direction. So now your needle should be magnetized. Next thing we need to do is place our slice of cork onto our bowl of water. Want to make sure it doesn't travel too close to the sides, so that might disrupt our magnet, our compass. And finally, we want to place the magnetized needle onto the cork. So I'm going to drop mine carefully there. And can you see how it span around to align with the North and South Pole? Can you see that? I'll move the camera a bit further. Oh yeah. If you remember, the North Pole was pointing towards me and the South Pole was pointing away from me. So there you have it, a homemade compass. And it might even be more reliable than my sat-nav. Have a go yourself at home. Now you may well be thinking what a homemade compass has to do with the Bible. Well, at the Last Supper, Jesus told his disciples that he would go ahead of them and prepare a place for them in his Father's house. Now, what's he talking about? Well, he's talking about being with God the Father in heaven. And he also tells them that they know the way. Now, Thomas seems to take Jesus quite literally. He wants directions. He wants a road map to the place. He doesn't understand. So, can we use a compass to find our way into heaven? Can we use a sat-nav? Can we use a map? Well, Jesus replied to Thomas by saying, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, what a great comfort that is. We don't need a map. We don't need any complicated directions. We don't need to depend that our sat-nav is working properly or our phone's got batteries or that we've got a magnet to magnetize our needle to make a homemade compass. We need none of that. Jesus continues by saying, if you know me, you will also know my Father. If we want to know God, we need only look to Jesus. Jesus is the way to the Father in heaven. Jesus shows us the truth too. He himself is the truth. In him there is nothing false, there is nothing misleading, there is nothing fake, there is nothing uncertain. Jesus' words are truth. Jesus is the life. He is talking about spiritual life that we have now as Christians and that we will share forever with God in heaven. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So next time you're lost or struggling with directions, or can't understand the map, or your sat-nav's broken, or your parents' sat-nav's broken, remember that the way to heaven is far simpler. Jesus is the way to heaven. Jesus shows us the way to heaven, and we can read all about Jesus in God's holy book, the Bible.